Today, we're going to do a live on the driving skills report card. I'm going to go through all the processes. If you have questions, you can go ahead and put those in. It is my recommendation that you, as a teen or adult, after completing at least 6 hours of behind the wheel instruction, has acquired the knowledge, the skills, and the aptitude to operate a motor vehicle within a highway transportation system. When accompanied by a licensed guardian or parent, an adult 21 years of age or older. The next step for you will be to visit your Secretary of State branch office and apply for your level 1 license. It is important that your parent or guardian provide at least 50 hours. That's the minimum, 50, but I recommend more than 50 because we want our young adult drivers to really know how to do 3-point turns, to know how to go through a dual carriageway, to know how to do 3-point turns, to know how to merge on the expressway, off the expressway, to know how to reverse parallel park, to know how to drive in a deep urban area such as Houston, Texas, Detroit, Michigan, Los Angeles, California. These areas are very important. Why? Because they're large urban areas. You may live in a large urban area or you may not. Next, to help give the tools and guidance necessary for your adult or teen, the supervised driving is available through one of my PDFs launched through the Stand Store. And at the link in the description, you can click that. You can order a PDF. You can sign up for a coaching call with me. I'm available. Next, while many safe driving skills have been taught and practices through this course, there has not been sufficient time for a student to become an accomplished driver. Please continue practicing. Hello, how are you? Please continue practicing with your driving skills and maneuverability under the guidance of a licensed driver who is 21 years old or older. Next, let's talk about the grading system. How are drivers graded? What are they doing? We're going to use an S, an L, U, X in the skills next to the objective. Now, please use S. S is for satisfactory at this time. Potential student performance without verbal instruction. Example, you want to talk about drifting. Do you know what RPM to turn your motor? Do you know what gear you need to be in? What if you lose control of the skid and you're being evaluated? Many of you laugh, but in less than 2 weeks, I will be going to Chicago to evaluate a National Hot Rod Racers Association power burnout competition. I'll be going live there. And if you have questions on skids, you need to put those in because we will print those out and ask the professionals. Many of you on this live right now are not professionals because you don't have a car that's properly equipped, the proper tires, the properly built motor, the safety equipment, the roll cage, the emergency shutoff. So you're going to learn a lot today. Next, NI, needs improvement. Student performance skills, minimal verbal instruction or guidance. Example, you're at the burnout competition in Joliet. You got your car teched. You have to keep your tires running, your motors going for 4 minutes. If you turn too hard or skid, you're going to hit the wall, and that's a disqualification. So many of you want to ask questions, but you don't have the practical experience behind you. And many of you don't understand that you will be evaluated by a group of professionals, and they're going to have a scoring system. You'll see that in a couple of weeks. So you put your questions in, you saying you can burn out anything. I don't believe you. Because if you have, post your video. Link it to this live, and I'll put it out there for you. Let's keep going. Next is U, unsatisfactory. needs verbal clues and guidance from the instructor. A lot of you are at that unsatisfactory. You need your, hello Dan, how are you? You need your verbal cues from your instructor or your coach, which is really important because the coach is here to help you. Next, X, did not perform skills during any of the 6 behind the wheel driving lessons. Now, there is a skid avoidance where we're on a slick road, we do an emergency stop, then there is something where you can learn from. Now, there are laws. You have to be in a controlled environment, sign a waiver. You can't just burn out on the street because your car will be taken and you will be arrested because people have cameras, they have videos, and if they post a video and take a picture of your license, I guarantee the authorities will come and impound your car and you will be in jail. So there are rules and laws for that. Now, let's get into the skill set. Okay? This is drive 1, low speed, light traffic, parking lot, residential. A, pre-entry safety checks. Let's pretend you're at the race in Joliet. You have to have a roll cage. You have to have a battery mount kit to secure your battery. You have to have a radiator overflow if your car overheats. If your car overheats and pukes out water, you can't have antifreeze in there. You have to have water. In a controlled environment, the burnouts are legal. On the street, the burnouts are not legal. And more on that. And I'll bring the rules and I'll be going live in a couple of weeks and then, you got to follow. Do you understand pre-driving and start procedures? Walking around your vehicle, making sure nothing is leaking, everything is secure. Okay? A lot of people do care because they love performances of people doing burnouts, racing, and there's a big market for that. So everyone's a little bit different, and that's okay. You might not like burnouts. I like burnouts in a controlled environment where you sign a waiver, people come to pay, and you sign the waiver. If you injure yourself, you can't sue the people who put the event together. If a person who's watching gets injured, they sign a waiver too because motors do explode sometimes. Okay? So let's continue. Establish your front bumper reference. If you've ever been to a drift competition, it's really skill. These are paid professionals, and I would pay. I've been to a burnout competition before. They're highly skilled professionals. They're not kids. They're not using mom and dad's car. These are professionally built cars to handle that abuse, the RPM, the heat, and usually they're tire sponsors such as Mickey Thompson, such as Goodyear. They will sponsor these events and give the participants a couple of sets of tires because we know tires are very expensive. Do you know how to move forward? A lot of beginning drivers look down to the right, they look down to the left. We want to aim high and look ahead. That's extremely important. Just like if you're on an 8th mile track doing 8th mile racing, you want to look ahead, you want to aim high. If you're doing a drifting competition, you want to turn your wheel and lock it. You want to gradually start building RPM and start doing small circles, gradually accelerating. Hello, I'm from America, you're from Greece. We have one person from Australia. This is great. We're talking about burnout competitions right now. We're talking about car safety. So it's all tied together. If you have questions, go ahead and put those in. Next, operating the steering wheel, push-pull or hand over hand. Some drifters are just holding the wheel back and forth. You've seen those GoPro videos. Some drifters are turning and gradually holding. Everyone is a little bit different. Many of you have comments. Let's see your video. Post your video. Post a link to your site. We all love cars in one way or another. Do you know how to operate your vehicle under control? Do you know how to shift into the proper gear? Might need to be in two. You might need to be in one. Or a lot of these drift cars are manuals. They start in one, bring your RPM up, let the clutch out, shift to two. Is four the good spot? Is five? Do they have a close ratio transmission? A wide ratio transmission? Is it a clutchless transmission? Now, in drag racing, some competitors allow a clutchless Liberty transmission, where they just push in the clutch, do the burnout, line up, push the clutch in, and then they shift gears. That's really important. And then they're shifting first, second, third, fourth. Everyone is different. It depends on your budget and the classes you are in. Okay? Next, acceleration. Are you using fuel injection? Are you using a carburetor? Because if you're drifting around, the fuel is going to be in one end of the carburetor. Your car could bog down. Your car could overheat. Do you have an electric fan? Do you have a manual fan? It really depends on what your goals are. And I will be giving you more information when I get to Chicago in a couple of weeks. I'll be going live. I'll be taking pictures. I'll be interviewing the drivers to talk about. I know a lot of you think it's not true, but it is true, because the IHRA is putting together a new program to get younger people involved in motorsports. And I was picked to be there, take video, take pictures. I'll share what I can. So this is serious, and this is fun, and the membership track is near me. Let's keep going. Do you know how to operate the controls of your vehicle? Some cars have a modified shifter that is a really large shifter where they're shifting, lifting, shifting, lifting. It really depends on how your setup is. Do you have a smaller motor? Do you have a bigger motor? Bigger motors generate more torque. Smaller motors, more RPM. What is your style? What are the criteria? I will be taking pictures and video, and then I will share it. Let's keep going. Do you have a smaller steering wheel or larger steering wheel? Do you know what to do in those emergency situations? Because if you don't, then you might panic. And if you touch the wall or the barrier, you're disqualified. I'll get the rule sheet. I'll look at the safety rules. I will have a media pass, and I'll be allowed to go into the pits. I will interview drivers and then give you feedback. Those of you who want to drift, build a muscle car, we're going to do a deep dive. Let's continue. Are you familiar with your car? Okay. Are you familiar with your car? Do you know the capabilities? Do you understand if your car overheats? What do you need to do? Do you have the proper fuel in your car? Okay. Vehicle familiarity. Have you identified communication components? Do you have a race pack? Okay. Do you have a Holly Dominator? I'm getting into some more technical stuff. Those of you who like that stuff, you need to know what your car is doing. And if you don't know what your car is doing, then it could overheat, you could damage the motor. So you want to keep your car in that happy middle. You don't want to be too aggressive and spin out, but you don't want to be too shy, because you're going to be evaluated on artistic, the amount of smoke, how you steer the vehicle. There are a lot of different criteria. And the sponsors who set up this competition, these competitors have purpose-built cars. I don't know if a lot of you have purpose-built cars or not. Most of you probably do not, because it costs thousands of dollars. Next, are you familiar with safety equipment? You got to have a helmet on. You got to have a 5-point seat harness. You have to have an emergency shutoff. That's outside. You have to have a neutral safety switch. You have to have a fire suit, fire gloves, shoes. It's very expensive. You have to have a window net. If you can't afford these things, then you won't be racing. Anyone can do a spin out or a burnout down the street from your house. But that's not real artistic freedom. That's craziness, because if you hit the curb, you're going to break your axle. Next, do you know how to approach an intersection? Do you know how to approach the spin or turn? If you go in too fast, the rear will spin out. If you go in too slow, you're going to overload the front tires and get into a skid. A lot of beginners don't know how to approach turns. They go in too fast with too much speed, and then they hit the brakes and the rear spins, and then they panic. Do you know how to start the engine? Some of these cars are purpose built. They have a push to start. Some have an ignition switch. You have questions, put those in. Do you know how to move backwards or forwards? Many of the competitors have manual transmissions. What type of clutch do you have? Okay. Do you have a soft clutch, a hard hit clutch? Do you have a hydraulic clutch? Okay. Let's continue. Drive 2, moderate speed, light traffic, rural roads. Do you know how to establish reference points? A lot of beginners hug the right. They're looking down at the line. I had an adult learner yesterday. She literally broke the mirror on the car. She was looking down. Look ahead, aim high. Those of you who are talking about drifting, what is your reference point? Have you actually went on the track to identify the surface? What compound tires do you have? What is the temperature of the track? What is your caster and toe? Because these are specially built vehicles for driving or for drifting or for quarter-mile racing. Every car is different. So you need to know your car. What type of cars do you people have? Okay? Establishing reference points. The center. Are you focusing on the center? Are you focusing on the left? Are you focusing on the right? Do you know which reference point or line you want to drift on? And as your car accelerates, you want a controlled spin all the way around. Anyone can do a little donut. Your grandma could do a donut. Your uncle could do a donut. But to do a second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth spin, we've seen those cars that have drifting in those streetcar takeovers. They hit another car, break the axle. They hit someone and the person flips. I don't condone open street takeovers. I do condone you going to a sanctioned event where you have the proper safety equipment that you can reach your goal. If you want to do drifts, then your car's got to be purposely built. If your car's not purposely built, you're going to end up burning out the brakes, burning out the tires, heating up the oil, and then you're going to blow up your motor. I'll be talking to competitors when we go to the competition in a couple of weeks. Next, entering the roadway from the curb or the side of the road. Do you know how to enter the track? Do you know how to enter the road? If you're a private drive, you got to yield to cars. They're the major. If you're in a pit, the pit speed is about 10 miles an hour. If you're going 50 or 60, you're going to run over someone, and they're going to kick you out. Next, are you concentrating on your path of travel? Is it straight? Is it a curve? Is it a hill? Do you know how to establish reference points when turning? We're going back to drifting again. Are you slowly turning? You've seen the GoPro videos. I have some. If you're drifting, you're turning, you're using your handbrake, you're accelerating, so you're braking and turning at the same time. You're looking where you're going. If the road is going to the left, you're looking to the left. If the road's going to the right, you're going to the right. You have to know how much handbrake you need. You need to know how much acceleration you need. You need to know what RPM to get the motor up. Do you know how to complete left and right turns? If you have to do a figure 8, you need to accelerate and brake. Accelerate and brake. and turn. If you turn too fast, you're going to spin the car out. That's what a lot of you do because you're beginners. You overturn, you have too much speed, and the rear of the car spins out from underneath you. Then you'll lose points in the competition. Don't worry, I'll be videoing all this, and I'll take pictures, and I'm going to show you the proper way. If you really want to learn how to have a purposely built motor and tires and a proper handbrake. A lot of you don't have the proper equipment, so you're going to score very low in the competition. And then you're going to get mad because you don't have the money for the proper tires, built motor, transmission cooler. There's a lot involved. Let's continue. Put questions in. Do you know how to properly stop at a residential or rural intersection? Let's go into the pit. You've got to stop. You got to look. People are coming in with trailers. They're adults on Mini Coopers. They're kids on smaller motorcycles. They're people on four-wheelers. Have you been to a racetrack? If you've been to a racetrack or you've been to a sanctioned event, please put yes in so I can know what your skill set is. If you haven't been to a racetrack, put no. If you've been to a racetrack, put yes. Okay? Next, do you know how to determine the minimum time and space? Since we're talking about drifting, do you know how to adjust your speed, have the handbrake, and slowly turn that steering wheel around? If you oversteer or understeer, the car's going to spin out from underneath you. You've seen this before. And you learn from each competition. Don't worry, I'm going to be interviewing drivers. How many years of experience? Tell me about your first drifting competition. Tell me about how you learned how to drive and how this made you a better driver. I'm going to interview all of these drivers, and I really want to make sure that you really see what's going on. And I'm going to be really excited because you're going to learn firsthand the commitment, the time, a basic combination, a mid combination, and then a high-end combination if you really want to learn about drifting and driving. It all starts with getting your license. And if you don't have your permit, you don't have your license. You have no business out there at the track because you won't qualify. Next, determining minimal gaps, time for maneuvers. Are you going to be drifting in kind of a wide curve and then reversing your direction back? And then you're going to have the judges in a booth evaluating your car, your drifting, your speed, the amount of smoke. Is it a 4-minute competition? Usually they're timed. Or do you hit the gas too hard, you spin out, and then you lose points? It's really a work of art to be able to drift, handbrake, drift, handbrake. Let me continue. Do you know how to park at a curve and park on grade? If you're parking uphill, you turn your wheels if you're parking uphill, you turn your wheels all the way to the left. If the car slips out of gear, it will roll backwards into the curb. If you're parking downhill, you turn your wheels all the way to the right. Those basic elements are so important. Do you know how to back up straight? You might have to back up straight, hit the handbrake, turn the wheel, and the car will spin left or right. That is so much artistic creativity. Let's continue. Drive 3, moderate speed, dense traffic, suburban, and urban. Again, put questions in. Approach turns and multiple lanes. Do you have to build up your RPMs before you get into the arena? You're going to have cement barricades set up. So in case you lose control, you'll hit the barricade, and then the audience will be back probably 7 feet, 10 feet. It might even be a fenced-in area because I've seen tires, I've seen axles break, so safety first. Do you know how to determine the gap and space for your maneuvers? at speeds up to 45 miles an hour. Anyone can drive in a straight line, but do you have maneuverability in a downtown Houston, Texas, in a downtown Chicago, Illinois, in a downtown Detroit, Michigan? What is your hometown? Where are you from? Please give me some notice. Do you know how to concentrate on your path of travel when you're going straight? You're going on a curve, accelerating through, hitting the handbrake, accelerating through under control. And if you hit the right reference point, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful skid, under control. And then as the car rotates around, you lift off the handbrake, you turn the wheel back, and you hit that handbrake. Many of you, I'm quite sure, can do one skid. I even can do one skid in a circle. But multiples, that's a little bit different. Do you know how to maneuver in a suburban area, in a street? Okay, that is really important. Do you know how to perpendicular park? When you go to the pit, you've got to know how to perpendicular park. You have your trailer, you have your motor coach, you have your trailer, you have your tools. Everyone knows how to park. And then in your pit area, you have a plastic mat or rubber. You set up your tent, you have your car, you pull out your tools, you have your emergency equipment, your safety equipment, backup parts, because a lot of things do particularly impact. Good morning. Hello, E. We're talking about the driving, and we're talking about driving skills report card. We were talking about steering control, drifting, controlling. I'm having a really good day. Thank you for coming aboard. I really appreciate you. I'm going to be on about 5 more minutes. So put in your comments. Good morning. E, ask some questions, find out what's going on. You want to demonstrate how to enter the road from a complex controlled intersection. You may have to drift around barrels where you're turning the wheel. Thank you for the hearts. You're turning the wheel, and then you're hitting the handbrake. Okay. If you're a beginner and you have a good driving foundation, thank you, Jackson. How you doing? Jackson E, I'll be going to Chicago, and I'm going to take a lot of pictures. I'm taking my daughter with me. I got invited to the National Hot Rod Racers Association Social Media Day. I'll be taking pictures of cars, burnout cars, drifting. I'll have to get a pit media pass. I'm going to take pictures. I'll go live on the expressway there, going to the racetrack. I'll take as many videos as pictures as I can. And the professional photographers, I'm not a professional, they're going to help me set up my camera so I can take good pictures on my Canon SL3. We'll update my phone, and then of course my Meta Ray-Bans. So I'll be able to do phone, Meta Ray-Bans, and with my camera doing digital stills and video. I'll try to get a wireless microphone too so I can pin it on the driver when I do my pit interviews. So I have some of the basic equipment, but I need to get a couple other things. But I'm excited. Next, do you demonstrate how to get through the exit? Slow your speed. If you cut it too short, you're going to hit the corner of the wall and damage your car. If you're going around drifting and not pulling the handbrake enough, the rear of the car is going to spin out. You're going to hit the side of the barricade. And you're going to see drift cars that have doors ripped, fenders ripped, okay? Front end parts broken. And you're going to see guys and ladies, because the ladies drift too. Red Bull is a big sponsor. Okay, there are different sponsors there. I'm going to be talking to all of them. And I'm going to get you everything I can. I have a media kit ready. So I'm going to be talking to them and having them. And thank you, E, because you motivated me to put that media kit together, and I did it this past weekend. So I am really excited because I'll be able to hand a media kit to particular sponsors who are interested in motorsports. And we're trying to get information out. And I'm trying to help all of you become better drivers so you can hit your goal, because it's about safe driving under control. Do you know how to do a complete U-turn? If you turn too fast and short, you're going to spin out of control. That is extremely important. we still want to continue to do our best work. And we want to get you prepared for the best competition out here.